Welcome to Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that tapestry of extraordinary experience. And this is going to be a pretty funny episode because I can just take this so many different ways, but I want to be sure to, of course, be respectful and courteous in everything. And hopefully, this will hit some of the young fellas up here. But I want to definitely talk about today about the reality of aging, the reality of aging as a man. And every man hits a point where he realizes he is not 21 anymore. So it's like you go being a child, you go and graduate high school, and then you hit 20 and you hit 21, and you feel like you are Superman. And what ends up happening is that strength begins to fade. The time is going to move faster, and before you know it, you're in your 30s. And then it really hits harder, and that reality begins to hit once you're in your 40s. And when you, if you, some of you are out there in your 40s, you know what I'm talking about. Things going to hit different if you pass that point. But it's something out there in the atmosphere that the aging comes with a reflection on your life because you begin to look back in your earlier years, 39 and back, and you start thinking about what is my purpose. I talked about that on the channel. What is my legacy? What can I leave behind? Talked about that on the channel. Or the mortality. And it's a mental and emotional transition in a man's life that you cannot prepare for as men. You can't take a test for. It's just one of those things that most definitely happens. And when you are in your 40s, you're in the middle of the line, people. Think about it for a second. Very few people reach 100 years old. A lot of people tend to reach their 70s, maybe 80s. But you are at a point where you begin to fear that you're going to be losing your physical strength, attractiveness, losing relevance, and falling behind in life. But you don't need to fear that you're starting over. You don't need to fear that you're running out of time. And what happens is aging isn't just physical, it's a psychological thing. But when you're looking at the physical aspect and the reality of it, there's no way that you should be in your 40s and still have not matured and grown up yet. I want that to sink in for a second because I'm talking to some of you men that's out there that's going through this. You will hit 40, just like a woman. She's going to hit her 30s. She's going to hit her 40s. And she's going to keep going on and on. We all are going to go through it. But men specifically, because I wanted to work on this series on the aging as a man, but society begins to treat you a little bit different in regards to double standards because men are expected to stay strong forever. So you don't get cut no slack whatsoever. You're expected to perform at 100,000% all day, every day, throughout the time and the entirety of your life. You are still supposed to be able to provide. That is an expectation that we talked about of how society treats men, the expectations that they put on us as well. They still want you to lead and be a solid masculine man. And you have no room for weakness. So you can go ahead and cut that right on out or slowing down because that is an absolute no no. And you definitely are not getting any emotional support for aging as well. Now, women, of course, are going to get more help. But what I want to happen is for you men out there that are mature, that I hope that you have gotten with somebody earlier on so you all can live your life together and support one another because you will get old. One is going to have to help the other more and more. And I want that to work. I want that foundation to work for you. And the world doesn't allow men to age a lot. It just expects them to endure whatever pains and things that are coming. So it's almost in the sense of, you being the roof, of course, over the house, and at some point it's going to drip. It's going to have holes in it at some point. And you have to get it renewed and replaced. So they don't take the foundational and the board aspects away from the roof, but they do take the little bitty shingles away that have been damaged and repair those so that you can last another X number of years. But that midlife reflection, that midlife crisis that you all hear about a lot, every man is going to go through it. You're going to need to figure out, what have I accomplished in my life? You're going to need to figure out, do I waste time? Am I living for a purpose? What am I here for? What will I leave behind? And those are some quiet crises that happen. Men, men don't fear getting old. I don't think that they do. But I do think that men fear getting old with nothing to show for it is definitely going to be a problem in the relationship market. Now, there are many different opportunities out there. They're going to be hidden in forms of aging. And hopefully, this will shift some of you to the empowerment state of your mentality. But hopefully, the aging brings a different perspective on you to know that there is definitely more down the path that you're going. You just may not be looking up because you are content of where you are right now. And that should allow you to be able to make the effective decisions that you need a lot better so that you can move accordingly and along with that. And that better decision making and then emotional maturity is going to give you some discipline out of this world, man, because you're going to have some crystal clear, sharp boundaries about what you will take, what you will not take, what you would expect from a woman, what you would not expect from a woman. And that aging doesn't take your value. My hope is that it will reveal and make a revelation within your life into something a little bit different there. Now, when you look at age overall, you should definitely look at it with the strength, the purpose that we have there, and being able to take care of your body intentionally, even if it's like a brisk walk or something, maybe a little bit uh exercising a little bit, just keeping everything good and in working order and being healthy, and develop some skills that you can get. And with the skills, you can pass the wisdom down to the young men that around you. But choosing peace over proving something to other people that you don't even like is even a greater flex. Not in the cars, not in your toys, not in your boats, not in your lake houses or anything like that, but creating a legacy mindset that is not for you, but for the people and the kids coming behind you there. Now, your 40s, your 50s can outshine your 20s if you grow it instead of fearing it. I want you to understand that across this whole series, we've talked about a lot of different things. But I want you to keep in mind that aging is not a decline, it's a transition from one point to the other. And hopefully, from muscle to wisdom and from the speed to the strategy that you may have out there that's going to change your life. Even from the proving of something to becoming someone is definitely a deeper dive. And this is the chapter of your life where you, as a man, will evolve. So, like, listen, subscribe to the channel, Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that taper shift extraordinary experience. Until the next time, peace.